Last video I talked about Pokémon Legends games, what they are and why they are being made right now. You should check the one out if you haven't already. But one thing I mentioned in that video is the impact that series will have in the main series, you know, the new region, the new generation game, is likely gonna be a lot more than we believe right now. I think they're only scratching the surface with Legends games, and the changes it will bring will likely be talked about for years and years and years. So hey, I'm not so ace trainer, and what about battles? Let's get into it. Pokémon Legends Arceus introduced out-of-battle catching, as well as action-based battles, plus throwing your Pokémon out to get you items or materials. This was one of the biggest things that made the game feel so fresh in comparison to Pokémon games of the past, and one of the reasons why it was so well received by Pokémon fans of old and new. While this wasn't fully implemented in the following game, Pokémon Scarlet and Pokémon Violet, we did see the introduction of Let's Go, an auto-battle mechanic that allowed us to throw our Pokémon out and have it battle wild Pokémon while also gathering materials and items. This added a new element to the traditional Pokémon formula in a game that was already trying to do something new by having gyms available in any order, despite us knowing that they clearly wanted us to take the gyms in a specific order. Just like I want you to like, subscribe and join the channel. But now we're getting a new Legends game, and this one feels like it will also change a lot about what we feel are the usual features of the franchise. And also, there's something coming out that paired with Pokémon Legends Z-A might really change a lot of what we believe to be these features. Before I continue though, how do you feel about turn-based battles? Let me know down below. Pokémon Legends Z-A is changing Pokémon battles completely, not only wild ones but also trainer battles. In Pokémon Scarlet and Pokémon Violet, while the auto battle feature let us send out our Pokémon to take down wild Pokémon, it didn't really let us control it, besides changing its attacking direction. The move it used was just a general move and there was nothing to learn about it. In Lumio City, we'll be taking down foes by dodging their moves and choosing what moves to use ourselves. We will aim them as well, something we never had to do before. This completely changes battles from the classic turn-based to action-based battles. But they would never apply this to the main series, now would they? Gen 10 is likely coming out in 2026, though Pokémon patterns are kind of non-existent right now, but still that's what I believe will happen. So, Pokémon Scarlet and Pokémon Violet learned from Pokémon Legends Arceus. The latter introduced new ways for Pokémon to interact with the overworld, and the former kinda used the less developed version of this. And Gen 10 will likely learn from Z-A. But since battles are the biggest change, is that what they're gonna learn about? Can they sustain VGC having action-based battles, with VGC being turn-based battles? Or they don't have to worry about that because they might have already introduced a way to go around this situation, a way called Pokémon Champions. Pokémon Champions was a surprise announcement during Pokémon Day, one that promised a stadium-like experience using our own Pokémon for not only your Nintendo Switch line of consoles, but also for your phone. You'll be able to use the Pokémon you have in Pokémon Home, as well as Pokémon from games that can connect to it by transferring them to the app. The trailer shows us multiple gimmicks being used against each other, which implies that they intend on having formats where everything can be done. A while ago, I made a video about how a longer waiting period, like the gap year we had with Pokémon Legends Z-A, could make VGC a bit repetitive, but that's only because you don't have everything available to you. If you had everything, you could create all kinds of unique formats for people to play in turn being able to have a longer period between certain games without risking competitive falling flat. The other thing that this offers is a platform where Pokémon battles, turn-based battles, can thrive while Game Freak experiments with new ways to battle in the main series of Pokémon titles. It's clear that Pokémon battles are changing, not only with the features implemented in the Legends series, but also with the new features implemented in the generation games, the Scarlet and Violet's, the Sword and Shield. And I wouldn't be surprised to see less turn-based battles and more action-based battles in the future. Or at least, I wouldn't be surprised to see more ways to avoid turn-based wild and trainer battles by using Let's Go-like features, you know, like the ones in Pokémon Scarlet and Pokémon Violet, just a little more evolved. Still, if this is the case, there are some clear issues. Pokémon Champions is a game. There's no word about its price or release date, but there's a chance that this is a paid experience, even if it is just a one-time purchase. Its connection to Pokémon Home, the Pokémon Storage app, also raises the question of will we be able to use Pokémon Champions simply by having the free version of Pokémon Home, or will we have to pay for a premium account? This could end up making the use of Pokémon Champions a subscription technically. There's also the fact that future updates with new Pokémon, new abilities and new items and gimmicks could be treated as DLC, meaning you could be charged for them as well. I honestly believe that this concern will stop at speculation and not really become reality. Pokémon is more than happy to have huge events, and raising the price of entry would just hinder people from just going there. They want to have huge ICs, regionals and worlds, we know that, they really like to talk about that. Still, if there is a possibility, it wouldn't be fair not to mention it. And also, another issue I see is how Pokémon could lose its identity by throwing away turn-based battles. We all know that turn-based battles were one of the main reasons people complained about Pokémon being frozen in time. Sure, the whole gym formula and all that played a role as well, but that was the biggest one. With Final Fantasy's success when moving away from turn-based combat, it's easy to think that every franchise should do it. But Pokémon's gameplay interactions between items, abilities, typings and moves make for a very intricate battle system when you explore it further. The issue, I think, is mostly how it doesn't really matter that much during your playthrough, as everything is easy enough for you to not even have to care about these interactions. Because of this, I feel like the turn-based battles are something that shouldn't really be thrown off a window, but really built around in order to create battles that are memorable and not just a stepping stone. And so I don't see Pokémon completely giving up on turn-based battles just yet, though I do feel like it's something that will slowly begin to happen. Maybe Pokémon will never be completely action-based, which I believe is a very good thing, but I don't think it will be completely turn-based ever again as well, which is also a good thing to be fair. It started with wild Pokémon and items in Pokémon Scarlet and Pokémon Violet, but maybe in Gen 10 you can actually just control your Pokémon in order to reach the item or attack the specific Pokémon you want. And maybe some trainers will even ask you for those kinds of action-based battles, kinda like a sky battle type of situation or rotation battle, whatever, like a gimmick battle for that specific game. But still, I do believe they will be implemented in specific parts of the game, like boss battles for example. Now, when it comes to Pokémon Champions, I believe the impact it will have in the series, be it positive or negative, is very much dependent on how they handle the price and future update situation, because it can really become the best thing ever, or actually the worst. But anyway, that is all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all on the next one. But before I go, I want to thank my YouTube members DashPlays and Yahtzee and Twitch subscriber Anubis here for going that extra mile. From the bottom of my heart, thank you all so much.